to the 12 Man Insight Podcast. I'm Mo. I'm here with your boy Tommy. The Seahawks, Tommy, lost last night in a very, very bad fashion, 30-13. Geno Smith, got banged up, 15 of 19, 149 yards. Sam Howell came in, 5 of 14, 24 yards, and we know what happened with the defense. But let's get into the overall reaction of this game. I was at the game; I can give my perspective. But Tommy, I want to hear your perspective first. Watching it on Sunday Night Football live, what did you see?
Well, yeah, I mean, just going into the game, there was a lot of excitement. It's a big game. Here's an opportunity for Seattle to kind of reestablish themselves in the NFC, and it blew up right in our face. Blew up right in our face. Once again, Seattle is sized up and bullied by a top team in the league, and once again, the fans have been shown who they are, and it's frustrating. I'm typically very level-headed, like be honest, but that's not going to be the case today. I mean, there is a lot of people to call out. Last night was disgraceful, point blank period. 30-13 at home on prime time to a team that it might be the third best team in their division. I mean, let's just dive in. Just a disgraceful performance all around from basically everybody. I do want to highlight some positive performances. JSN yet again continuing to rise up and make a name for himself in the league. Another good game from him, 10 receptions, 83 yards. He was heavily relied on last night in the pass game. Charles Cross had another good game, and I saw someone tweet earlier like Charles Cross has been bad this year. That's not true. If you look at his pressures, a lot of those pressures are because the ball's being held so long. Look at his pass rush or a pass block win rate. That's where you know. And so Charles Cross, so I'm going to say Charles Cross is trying to continue to have a great season. Draymond Jones, Leo Williams. I don't want to gas up the D line too much because they were just completely gashed for 4 quarters last night. I mean, the Packers had their way basically all game, but Leo Williams had a couple big TFLs that put us in position to potentially mount a comeback. So I don't want to take that away. Like that's what we want, but. I mean, let's talk about the bad. Let's talk about the bad. I mean, how much time do we have today? Let's start with Tariq Woolen. Let's
All
start.
right.
Let's start with Tariq Woolen. What was that? What was that? I mean, here we go. First drive of the game, 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty. After Packers get a big gain, let's tack on another 30 yards already deep in Seattle territory after 2 plays. Okay. The ball tracking when the ball went right over his head to Christian Watson on the sideline. Yes, is that a great catch, great throw? Absolutely. Was Tariq Woolen in horrible position there? Absolutely. I mean, you can't let that happen. How do you lose the receiver? And then the PI before halftime gets him down at the 4-yard line, lets the Packers come out there and get a little gimmicky, trying to get a false start. Just makes it an easy tack-on field goal there before halftime. I mean, Tariq Woolen, and then Tariq Woolen's on Twitter today responding to people talking about how bad he's playing. Like, what are we doing? Get off Twitter. Like, he's responding to tweets like LOL, like people talking about he played bad. What was he? 36.5 PFF grade. That's awful. I mean, that is. And like that, you can't. So, and then you're on Twitter the next day, not like just defending yourself. And what we want as fans is for you to go out the next week and defend yourself and play well, because we know he can. Tariq Woolen's an extremely talented player. He is one of one. There's nobody like Tariq Woolen. And we're hard on him because we expect good things. We've seen good things. And for a big game like this, for him to come out and play like that is just unacceptable. I mean, and then let's Tyrese Knight. Oh, I love Tyrese Knight. He's done a lot of good things this year. Last night was not one of those good things. He did not play particularly well. He gave us a 32.4 PFF grade last night. That is not great. And you saw it. I mean, linebacker play is key to stopping the run. We didn't stop the run.
Yeah.
And Satoa Lamea, it was time. It finally got exposed, and
Like
we talk about it all the time. Like once you start getting some.
PFF grade?
He
1.5.
35.4 PFF grade. There are too many players we're seeing with 30s in the PFF grades. It's not good. He got beat inside. I'm not going to single him out. The entire interior offensive line was disgraceful last night, It was just bad. The Packers' interior defensive line had their way. I don't think the tackles played too bad last night, but I mean, just here we go again. It's time. Calling out John Schneider. It's time to address the interior offensive line. We cannot have that. It's the same thing over and over again. And then
Yeah,
let's talk about Sam Howell.
yeah,
There it is. We have our answer. It's not a Sam Howell Geno debate anymore.
yeah.
It is
We
not.
can, we can get
I
into
mean,
that. Yeah, let's. We have a whole
yeah, we'll
segment.
get into that.
We have a whole segment for
All
Sam
right, all right,
Howell.
we'll get over there. Sorry,
Yeah,
I was getting carried away there for a second. I mean, it was just. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of basically every Seattle fan. It was a really, really frustrating night. It was an embarrassing night. I'm getting texts all night. Like, what is going on? Like, and I'm just, here it is. We got point blank. We got sized up and bullied by a top team in the league yet again.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there was just not a ton of positives to take.
That's true, man. First of all, I want to get it out there. Being a Seahawks fan really sucks, man. Seriously, for the past couple of years, being a Seahawks fan is difficult. The amount of optimism that was in this game, I really pushed myself to get to the stadium. Seriously, I had a lot of stuff. I had to cancel some stuff. I was like, man, this game is an important game. You got to be at this game. You got to have an extra person there. I took a couple of my brothers there. I was like, hey, let's go. Let's watch this game. Let's scream out loud. This team is about to make a run, and man, was I disappointed. And we'll talk about we have a whole segment on Lumen Field being taken over, but on prime time, Tommy, every time when you think this team is going to show the country what they're about, this defense is going to show the country what they're about, they let you down on prime time. We saw what happened with on Thursday night against the 49ers. And then it was not a primetime game, but America's game of the week. Tom Brady, first crew of Fox was there against the Bills. The team laid an egg again. And I actually think, and we'll talk about the defense later. I actually think the defense actually played better in the second half. They stopped the run. They made a lot of adjustments, but they started slow. And I don't know if that the lights got to them, Tommy. But it was just a disappointing game from start to finish. I was just sitting there, man, in the stadium. I was like, hey, should I leave? Should I leave right now? Should I leave right now? Should I leave right now? And it was just frustrating, man, from top to down.
It was embarrassing. I mean, a hot knife through butter was that Packers offense all night. I mean, and Mike McDonald has done a really, really good job. It did this in Baltimore as well, making adjustments. And I do think in the second half the defense did come out with a better energy, and they played better. They did play better in the second half. So I don't want to take that away from the defense, but we can't. The defense put us in a hole. They put us in a
Yeah,
hole early, and that's not to excuse the offense either. I mean, that was also
yeah, and we'll
a
get to the
very,
defense.
very
We have
poor.
like a huge
Yeah, yeah. Whoa.
segment on the defense. We'll get to it, but overall reactions of the game, I think you laid it out perfectly. It was just an emotional letdown. It kind of changes your expectations of the season, and it was just difficult, man, from top to down. I think we got out coached, out schemed, and this kind of showed you a good team with an extra days to prepare because they played on Thursday. They played on Thanksgiving. Was it Thanksgiving? Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. No, it wasn't Thanksgiving. It
Yeah,
was,
yep. They put the Dolphins. Wow,
and
time.
they were they had a couple extra days. And I feel like Matt LaFleur said, "Hey, let me show you rookies, how it's done."
Yeah, I'm.
So that's how I feel. I think
You,
that
you
they
said
got
it.
out
You said
coached.
you said it best. We got completely outcoached. They're sitting there like we're getting out schemed. We're showing that we're selling out in the run, and the Packers are running sweeps with the receivers and getting 10 yards a pop. I mean, they made it look easy. They made it look easy. And obviously, everything gets, we talk about all the time, everything gets easier when you can run the ball. And the Packers came out and ran the ball at will, you know? And so it did open up a lot of passing. I mean, Jordan Love started the game 9 for 9. And so it just overall, the takeaways, just utter disappointment. And I think once again we were shown what this team is. I think because after a good that 4 game win streak was great, and I don't regret starting to buy in a little bit because they showed a lot of positive signs and a lot of improvement in places that I was unsure about. But I think once again we have been shown what the Seattle team is, and it is disappointing. It is disappointing, and it's tough to have this big primetime home game with a big opportunity, and just really to lay an egg like that was a huge letdown.